Office of National Statistics from a 2019 study, in ever-increasing numbers, we are now at a lesbian divorce rate of 72%. So the top 4 reasons that they are reporting getting divorced is feeling ignored, inequality in the partnership, adultery, and domestic violence. Personally, I feel like this lends some weight to men's arguments and complaints about how women are behaving in relationships.
Now, am I surprised by this at all? Not in the least bit. The part I found quite interesting was the 4 things that they complained about, which coincidentally line up with the same things women complain about with men. They talk about being ignored. They talk about inequality within the relationship. They talk about adultery, and they talk about domestic violence. One thing she left out was that amongst that community, they have the highest amount of domestic violence calls of any couple in the world, is women in relationships with other women. And the highest in that group is black women with other women, which shows you their tendency for violence in many cases, because domestic violence calls between men and women are almost equal. Don't believe me? Look it up. In heterosexual relationships, 4 out of the 5 divorces are initiated by the woman, but that's the men's fault. You see, one of the most ironic things I find is that we as black men especially get this label that we're irresponsible, we're not good men, we're not good fathers, when the fact of the matter is 80% of black boys and girls in America are being raised by single parent mothers. So if you are the one raising these boys that become men that you hate so much, who do you think has anything to do with that? Or better yet, who is the common denominator in that equation? It's 3 times higher, the rate of men with a child versus the rate of women with a child in the black community. But we are always being labeled as the problem. And now you're seeing it in this situation with women with women. But like I said, it's always the men's fault. If you go to a restaurant and the food is bad, you don't blame the hostess. You don't blame the waiter. You blame the damn chef. And this is the stuff y'all chefing up. And I think the thing that makes women angry is that if they were physically strong enough to whip men's asses, they'd be beating on y'all. And the fact of the matter is, in many cases, there's a lot of men getting hit upside the head, spit on, kicked, pans, hot grits, all kinds of stuff getting done to them, and nothing gets done about that. If a man comes to the police talking about he's being beat on by his woman or something, being abused physically, they'll laugh at him. We need to start making a standard that is equal. And let me ask you women, do you know women that you have seen that are physically abusive to men or are in relationships with other women and are physically abusive? Because I notice every time domestic violence comes up, it's always put on men. It's a question I want to know. So give me your feedback on that. Family, please check out my new sponsor, cloudstyle.com. They have suits, jackets, blazers, pants, accessories. I mean, the finest of suits at affordable prices. 3-piece, 2-piece, vests, tuxedos, any kind of suit you can think of. And these suits are vintage. These suits are classic, flawless. Also, more importantly than that, in addition to the great price of the quality of the suits, you put in my code, 20FREDDY. That's 20FREDDY. If you buy a suit when you check out, and you receive an additional 20% off the suit. Suits are seriously fire. Check them out. www.cloudstyle.com.